Oh man, our first tour was so awesome. We were just kids fresh out of high school. It was the first time seeing the whole country. The shows were so much fun and almost funny because nobody knew who we were, and we were playing with Bane, who's such a rad hardcore band. Like, our songs had melodies and we weren't like all that angry. We were more sad, you know, it was like emo was coming. People that came to watch Bane did not know what to make of us. I mean, we maybe won over 1 or 2 people a show. We would have people throw stuff at us and say like mean stuff, or, you know, spit or whatever. But we were having so much fun that my memory of that tour is just having fun. I don't remember it being awkward playing to these people that didn't know who we were. I just remember thinking, this is so cool, we sold 1 CD tonight. That really totally blew my mind when I heard how Fall Out Boy came together. I read about it in the Spin interview they did after they started to really blow up, and Pete Wentz told the story of them being 2 separate Saves the Day cover bands. You know, I think it was like the drummer or the guitar player and Pete were in one band, and then it was Patrick and the other guy in the other band, and they auditioned Patrick to be part of their Saves the Day cover band by having him play and sing Through Being Cool in its entirety, like standing in front of them. That was the story in Spin, and it totally blew my mind. I mean, it's more surreal than I think I would have words for, you know, it's just kind of out there. And it's neat to know that these bands that do sell like a lot of records even know who we are. That's a good question. That was an incredible tour. That might have been the Vagrant America tour. And there were incredible tours before that and after that too. I mean, in the early days, touring with bands like Snapcase and H2O was just a trip. I mean, that was so wild. These guys that we loved would take us on the road and they'd be nice to us, you know. It was awesome. Hot Water Music took us on the road a bunch, and we developed so many friends that have really lasted. You know, seeing each other 15 years later or whatever and high-fiving again. I think my mom's most proud that people love the music and that I do what I love. You know, that I followed my dreams and it worked out, because it didn't seem like it would have when I was just a kid saying, I don't really want to go to college. Oh, okay, I'll give it a shot, but then I didn't really like it, so no, I'm gonna stop and I'm just gonna do this music. You know, I think that was weird for them at first, but it's neat that it worked out. That was my idea, because I love Ween. I think they're a really cool band, and at first they seem like they're just crazy people, but when you listen, they're crazy people that are really good at writing cool songs, and so their songwriting is inspirational to me. Yeah, we paid for it ourselves, just because we were in between labels. Man, I've never been scared doing this. I just really love it. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? I don't get to play in a band anymore, and then I'm still a person having a life. So there's nothing that scary about it. But that was a fun experience, building our own studio and having a place to work, and we didn't have to go anywhere like thousands of miles away. And it was nice to just camp out and focus on making that record. I didn't really know what to make of it. It was just incredible. Wow, we're on TV. That's so nuts, you know. I grew up being excited about MTV because friends at school had it. And on the weekend, you know, if I went over, I'd get to see like the Aerosmith videos or whatever. And so MTV was always this magical thing. And then when Nirvana came out, suddenly there were really cool bands on TV and on the radio. And I didn't realize at the time how lucky we were as a generation. But 20 years later, it hasn't happened again. A wave of just incredibly talented bands on the airwaves. So I have this romantic notion of MTV from them, so it was pretty cool to be part of it. Our drummer at the time, Damon Atkinson, his first time on TV, and I think that might have even been our first TV appearance. So I think that was all Damon. That was really weird because we went on tour with those guys, and on tour we were talking about doing our second video for Stay What You Are, which was going to be Freakish. And on the whole tour we were really excited, talking about the idea a lot. We were always talking about how funny it would be to have Muppets and models at a bar, just how ridiculous that contrast would be. That's what Ted and Brian kept chatting about on that tour. It was their idea. So anyway, we were talking about it a lot, and right after that tour, their video came out, and it was the actual Muppets, which they could afford, and in our video, it's just monster puppets. I do think that it's just purely coincidence, but if it's not, it's awesome that they were like listening to us like talking about our video, and then they did it. I think we just fit in with the musicians because we were honest musicians too. Like, we really loved to play. And we were kids that would go to these shows. You know, I would go see these bands on my own, and I'd stick around afterwards and, you know, help them pack up all their gear because I was that excited about music. I was like, you guys are so good. I love your band. I was that guy. So when we started getting on shows, it was through that. You know, Lifetime even put us on a couple shows because they just knew I was the kid that was always hanging around. It was cool being accepted in that world. Oh, sure, that was really tough. People would just yell stuff while we were playing about how much we sounded like Lifetime, you know, play Turnpike Gates and stuff like that. And as a young kid without much perspective, that certainly stung, but I think that's natural. We persevered and continued to evolve from album to album. People really stopped caring after a while. Once you're proven enough, hopefully your loyal fan base provides the buoyancy and you don't have to pay attention to the other opinions. No, I haven't thought about bringing back the pink hair, but I love the color. And I like colors in general a lot. They're really strange.
I've seen videos of Rush on YouTube, and if it's anything like that, it's gonna be awesome.